Today's video is brought to you by Adept Roll. Hey everyone, Katie and Sergeant Steele here, and today we are talking about the Bullgryns and their role in our 10th edition codex. So let's dive into it. This unit did get a stat upgrade in the new 10th edition codex, and I'm very excited for that. And I think we'll make this unit very enticing, regardless of points, for players to use. So let's dive into it. This unit has movement 6, toughness 6, a 3-up armor save, and that is the change. So now they have an innate 3-up armor save. I absolutely love that. 3 wounds, leadership 7, 1 OC. This unit is 1 bonehead, which is basically their leader, right? Normally it's modeled with the little metal plate on the head, and then 2 to 5 other Bullgryns. And they're equipped with their Grenadier gauntlets and their close combat weapons and a slab shield. Now, I don't normally run Grenadier gauntlets, and we'll talk about that more in just a minute. So normally, that's why you see mine here. I'll just sit that guy down, equipped with a bunch of other options. What they do have in terms of weapons is the only shooting weapons are Grenadier gauntlet. It is blast, 18-inch range, D6 attacks, at ballistic skill 4, strength 4, no AP, 1 damage. It's okay. And where it could really come into play is if you're using that against like hordes, right? So if you had 6 of these all equipped with Grenadier gauntlets, well, that's with blast and getting an extra 1 shot per 5 models per weapon can really add up and then become devastating. Other than hordes, it's okay. It does all right. The random number of shots always makes me hesitant, and I'd rather just take artillery, to be honest with you, especially for the points cost, and to be able to blast infantry away. So the Grenadier Gauntlet is unfortunately not my favorite weapon. Now for melee weapons though, so if you don't want to take the Grenadier Gauntlet, right, and shoot that, you could take the melee weapon, and that is the Bullgryn Maul, which you see most of mine equipped with here. That is 4 attacks each, weapon skill 3. Hint, hint, wink, wink, this is what Bullgryns are good at. Strength 7, minus 1 AP, 2 damage each. They kill Space Marines. That's what this unit does. And I love it. I love everything about it. Oh, so many additions. This unit has served me so well to kill Space Marines. I can't get enough of it. Fills me with just absolute joy. Or you could take their close combat weapon if you don't want the Bullgryn Maul. So, right, you take Grenadier Gauntlet and you have the close combat weapon instead. It is 4 attacks still, also still weapon skill 3, but only strength 6, no AP, 1 damage. So, Grenadier Gauntlets, once again at hordes, so say you're like fighting cultists or something, and then you have your close combat weapon, they're not going to do bad. They're gonna mess some jackals and cultists right up and take them right off the table. So the other piece of war gear they have is they come with slab shields, but then you can switch that out for a brute shield. The slab shield gives you a wounds characteristic of 4 rather than 3. So it increases your wounds. So that means a 3-man unit will have 12 wounds with a 3-up armor save at toughness 6. Ooh, that is spicy. I like it. So the other option, the brute shield, this one here gives you a 4-up invulnerable save. Now that's really spicy too, because this way if your opponent targets you and you haven't made any saves yet on a slab shield model that's not dead, you could start taking those attacks on the invulnerable save of your brute shield to try to keep the unit alive if it's a high AP attack. 3-up armor save is still pretty good. So your opponent's really got to dedicate some firepower, potentially like anti-tank like firepower, to take a unit like this out. Me personally, if you want my preference, I like the slab shield. One, it's aesthetics. I love the aesthetics of it. Don't get me wrong, brute shield is really cool looking. And if I had this giant muscly behemoth running at me with a giant force field around it, I think I'd go ahead and just shoot myself with my last gun. But The slab shield, just really iconic, really effective, and that extra wound, and I'm going to get into why, is really, really good. And now I want to tell you about today's video sponsor, Adeptroll. Adeptroll is a free all-in-one Math Hammer app in iOS and Android. It's simple to use, letting you quickly run Math Hammer simulations for any Warhammer 40k unit. You can import profiles directly to Battlescribe, update weapon stats to match your units, load an opponent, and run detailed simulations in seconds. For example, here I've imported the new artillery team unit and updating its weapon profile to match all the special rules that it has. With one tap, Adeptroll calculates everything and provides a range of detailed stats to help you find the most effective combinations for your army, and in this instance, it's to kill the Legionnaires. With Adeptroll, you will have the insights to make tactical decisions and bring victory to your battles. So what are you waiting for? Check out the links below and get it on your iOS or your Android phone today to make sure that you're using the right weapons on the right units to take out the right opponents to win the victory for the Imperium. So let's talk about what makes this unit special, and it has two abilities that are very, very important. First is Feel No Pain 6-up. That's right. For every wound you take on a 6-up, you ignore that wound. That is really good. I really like that. It really keeps this unit alive because say you're taking the slab shields, okay? So you have 4 wounds each. That means every once in a while you're going to save a wound. Even on a 3-man unit, you may save 1 or 2 wounds each game alone. And that's going to make it tricky to kill a unit like this. Your opponent's going to have to, like, suddenly they're taking flat damage weapons like, heavy bolters or autocannons and putting those into these, and then you're just shrugging off a wound. So they're going to require an extra heavy bolter shot to get through and wound you to take you out. Is magnificent. Waste your opponent's shooting, keep this unit alive. But then it gets better. It gets even better. The Wall of Muscle. Each time an attack is allocated to a model in this unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. What? Wait. What about heavy bolters? You mean heavy bolters go from damage 2 to damage 1? You mean autocannons go from damage 3 to damage 2? And I'm talking about the standard autocannon, not any of these specialty chaos bullcrap. Right? Oh no. And then 1 out of 6 of those you're going to ignore anyways. Yes. This unit is so resilient. So that, speaking of which, strategy and tactics, that is what this unit does. They get in there and then they don't die. They get into the thick of things. They charge into stuff, and they want to beat things with their Bullgryn mauls, right? They want to absolutely smash some things apart, and they're not going to die doing it. They're so resilient. They're so good at holding the line, at driving the enemy back. And the best of all, they kill elite units. They kill Space Marines, right? Their profile is built to do that, and they are very, very good at it. If you take a unit of 6 of these, okay, 6, that is 24 wounds if they all take slab shields. 24 wounds. And that's 24 attacks hitting on 3s with their Bullgryn mauls in combat. 24 attacks. Your opponents will quiver at the might of your Bullgryns. Absolutely will, as you come through just bashing their ceramite armor to pieces. And that's what I like about this unit. So how do I play a unit of Bullgryns? Well, a couple different ways. First, let's talk about non-transport. Okay, so they're just out and about on the battlefield. I will usually hide them from some terrain in turn 1 and then move them forward as quickly as I can, often advancing turn 1 so I can try to move up and hide somewhere in the middle of the battlefield. So I can then pop out on turn 2 and then smash my opponent with them, right? I hide them because in case my opponent does have strong shooting, they want to dedicate to this unit. And the reason I do that is so then I can bring in something else like a Rogal Dorn and try to kill that strong shooting unit, or that unit with the attacks profile that could take out the Bullgryn. Because there are some things that can do that in this game, as resilient as this unit is. The other option is a transport. Now, these often do take up the slots of several models. And so if you read the transport profiles, I think in Ogryn and Bullgryn take up 3 slots each. or yeah, 3 slots each. So therefore, a 3-man unit will take up 9 slots in a Chimera. So to transport them beyond a 3-man unit, say a 6-man unit, you're going to need things like the now discontinued Crassus, or you're going to need a Stormlord or Doomhammer, something that's going to be Titanic sized and has more transport capacity to be able to squeeze the amount of Bullgryn you want inside of them. Now, if you are taking those large transports, like a Crassus or a Stormlord or Doomhammer, it is great to throw a 3-man unit of these in and then mix it in with 25 other infantry models, say like 20 Cadians with a 5-man command squad and so on and so forth. Because what you can do in those mass transports is jump a unit of these out ahead of time, smash up the opponent's infantry that are on the objectives, right? Allowing your big transport to shoot at something else, perhaps. If it's like a Stormlord and it has significant shooting capabilities. If it's a Crassus and it doesn't, then use the Crassus ability and get its benefit. If you're using Legends or wherever Crassus ends up, I'm filming this video before we know. I'm assuming it's going to Legends. Okay, so you jump out, you smash up whatever's there, and I've done this so many times. I kill the Space Marines, the Chaos Space Marines on the objective. And then the next turn, this unit moves past the objective, okay? They get out somewhere else, even more forward or left and right on the table, and then I dump that 25-man unit of infantry out, and I hold that objective. And at that point, usually my opponent knows for the rest of the game that is my objective. Between the Bullgryn and the giant blob of infantry and the transport there to support them, they're not getting near it. If they try to get close and they fail their charge, I'm going to charge them with the transport to tie them up and lock them into combat. Or I'm going to shoot them off the table with the infantry blob. Or I'm going to bash them off the table with the Bullgryn. So Bullgryns and a large capacity transport can be a very effective overall strategy to implement. Now, if you don't want to spend the money or you don't want to play Titanic units, right, and you're taking Chimeras, 3 of these in a Chimera is awesome. You can throw in just like an extra random character like a Commissar that can also jump out and just be like a little action and objective controlling unit here and there. Just jump out and grab something. And that's fine. Or you even take something like a Tech Priest and put him back in there. So you could add just that extra single character in the back as well. So this way you don't waste those extra 3 transport slots that you get with, having 9, because each of these counts 3, so 9 transport slots taken up with 3 Bullgryn in the back of a Chimera, for example. Or you could take something that could shoot out of the back hatch, say characters with like plasma pistols and stuff, and that gets kind of fun too. So that's something else you can do. That's really how I play this unit, and you're normally there for the midfield. I don't often put them in strategic reserves. They're in older editions when the Valkyrie was better. I did love putting them in Valkyries and flying them in and dropping them off somewhere and then laughing when my opponent couldn't shift them away. That was always glorious. But with the costs of a Valkyrie now in terms of points, and I won't say it exactly, it's changing all the time, guys. 10th edition's ever evolving. It's always a changing system. But right now it's a little overcosted, and so it's just not worth it to put something like Bullgryns in there, unfortunately. So I typically leave this unit to either foot slog or put them in Chimeras. And that's the way I like to run it. But if you see me around, I'm probably going to be running my Legends units, my Crassus, or I'm going to be running the big Titanic like Stormlord and throwing them in the back as well and being an absolute nuisance. This unit will stick around and it will bash things apart. The downside, so right, I've been bragging on this unit. I'm like, oh my God, it's so great, it's so great, it's so great. So why don't we just absolutely see everybody just running Bullgryns everywhere all the time, and that's it. That's all they run. Well, that's because this unit does not have the regiment keyword. So it cannot be buffed by your officers or a lot of the stratagems that we have in the various detachments. And so this unit is a specialty unit, right? Serves a very special role and doesn't have a ton of synergies in the 10th edition codex with other units. It doesn't have no synergies, it just doesn't have a lot of them. And so you will take this unit just to fill the role that I've described, and you won't see it doing much else. And that's just the way it is for Bullgryn and Ogryn and Ratlings as well. All those units are the same. They do not have the regiment keyword, so you cannot give them orders and you can't give them a lot of the other buffs. But they are Astra Militarum infantry. So If you do have stratagems or other benefits that are Astra Militarum infantry, this unit does gain those benefits. That's something good to keep in mind. Well, that's it for today. That's all I have for you about the Bullgryn. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and subscribe. I always appreciate it. If you really love the content, you can become a channel member and subscribe, which also gives you access to my Discord. We're in there chatting, talking about painting and hobbying, or games played and new videos coming out and so much more. So you can join, become a member, and hang out with us, or just to support me and to help make more content, which I always appreciate you all being able to do. And every little bit helps. This is not my full-time job. I do this on the side for fun. I wish I was a full-time content creator. I think a lot of us do, actually, but that is not the reality. And so every little bit does help for me to be able to get the models or go to conventions and cover content and play games and film more videos and so on and so forth. And I really appreciate all the support. Or you can also check out the affiliate links below, where you can buy really cool gear such as the clear squad mark movement trays, and I get a little bit of kickback from that, and it helps me out. I really appreciate each and every one of you who do that. I've sold thousands of those movement trays at this point. I kid you not. Obviously you all like it, and I like them too. I use them in every game. I just really love it. But that's it for today. So as always, have fun wargaming, and remember, Cadia stands.